Hello there, this is Roblox Fan 75000, known for being a Sparta remixer and an entrepreneur of content creation, generally innovative and aesthetic complex deluxe. You probably remember my recap from last year. Well, here we are in the recap of this year, 2025. For this one, I'll be explaining the entirety of all the events that happened around, and we will delve into 3 chapters of it. First will be the main events that took place this year, second will be the unfolded events of my internet experience, and in real life, and third and last will be my conclusion. And for clarification, before we start, this recap is not intended for harassment or cyberbullying whatsoever. This is intended for educational and entertaining purposes only, going over the entire situation in a documentary-style context. Just a fair warning that any context will include controversies as well, as this recap will go through broader drama that sparked throughout this year, so viewers' discretion is advised. And yes, this is the same voice that I'm using for my previous year recap. One more thing before we get into this recap has no intent to relive any bad memories. What it says is to get it all off my chest. So with that said, let's get right into it. For starters, this is one of the most egregious parts, and at the same time, one of the most disgusting parts from 2024, including 2025 itself. More people like game developers, commentators, and other people had been turning into child groomers, predators, while others became terrible people who fell off. Predators such as Clarice Giddy, Gary Views, Jake, Refrigerator, and the official Teddy. Terrible people, including Lazy Butterfly, Nivok, Soul Driven Love, Snud, worst of all, Parlo, aka Parlophones, and so on. I get it, most of the recap consists of some predatory incidents, and others have major degeneration behind the scenes. The factors behind these incidents are involved in the mix of platform designs, which I'll be researching through these contexts that I'll be explaining if anyone wants to know what happened, or what led to all this happen. What took place is that there was a terrorist attack in New Orleans during what was supposed to be a New Year celebration. The incident is where a 42-year-old individual rammed a pickup truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street. And not only that, but the extremist motive was an inspiration from the domestic terrorist group that was capable of carrying out a heinous act. On top of that, there was a wildfire in Southern California, a hacking incident in 4chan, and there was a war between Israel and Iran, which declared a potential war between the two. Later, I found out that, according to the storm chasers, the EF5 tornado, after 12 years that lasted, had returned to the natural disaster that struck Enderlin, North Dakota. The only thing I found out for a short while was a flood in central Texas. Not only what I found out on the internet, but also that there was a massive internet attack on the amazing digital circus community, where these sorts of individuals not only targeted the show itself, but also targeted the creators of the indie animation show. These took place in the harassment campaign, including the platform, which I'll not mention this out of spite, involving around doxing voice actors, spamming illicit content, and sending terrorist, real-life threats towards the animation studios. Making things even worse, they've also targeted the voice actor of Michael Kovac, the voice actor of Jax, where people have been continuing to harass and spam him with repellent and blatant content. And to keep in mind, it has been going on for about 2 years and so on. I know, I have never expected to research through this drama like this, especially ever since the 6th episode of it came out prior to the smear campaign that spiraled out of control. Anyways, moving on to the next, and this part really shatters my passion. According to what I've found out, Roblox, a massive gaming platform that I've adored throughout many years since my childhood, has sued the Roblox YouTuber, Schleb, with a cease and desist letter, simply because of him catching predators from Roblox and off platforms, trying to keep the children safe from danger and predatory shenanigans. As the situation exploded, 3 things came out. First, Roblox began silencing anyone who came out about the Schleb situations, as well as banning them as well. Second, many countries and US states have begun suing Roblox for a lack of child safety measures, countries including Florida, Iowa, and Louisiana. And third, one of the most outrageous parts we've ever heard so far is that, according to Guamgo's videos, the Roblox CEO, David Baszucki, in the New York Times podcast, calling predators an opportunity. This single statement turned the entire podcast into a huge disaster. Not only did it destroy his reputation, but it also destroyed the Roblox corporation as well. And to be honest, Roblox has been one of my favorite childhood memories of mine when I first experienced it as a kid. When I've been playing this platform a lot besides other games, that is basically where I have the name of Roblox Fan 75,000 since 2017, the day when I first joined the internet. And, after everything that surfaced this year, my passion slowly faded, and everything changed, but we'll get into that later at the end. I have to apologize for explaining this in its entirety, as there are a lot of controversies that revolve around Roblox in the face of legal challenges over the inferiority of child safety measures. Anyways, moving on to the next. Regarding the rise of AI generation, there was a notorious YouTube AI age estimation/verification, where YouTube starts asking users directly to verify their age, and eventually restricts them from the platform if they are under 18. The worst part about it is that they've been asking for real, personal, identifiable information, and then they take not only information, but also use your activity as well. And around that time, it doesn't stop there. There was a Google VO3 and an OpenAI Sora. Not only that, but it's a secondary version of Sora. Both AI video generators have been known for having far more accuracy, including realism, motions, realistic audio, and other scenarios. What's more insane is that it was able to depict real characters from cartoons in this clip that don't exist in real time. According to these videos, prompted by Sora 2, has been spreading all across the internet, TikTok, YouTube, and all those. And what's more shocking is that they use it to make disgusting and unhinged videos, and eventually demolish the animation industry. I get it, most of the AI-generated content featuring beloved characters could destroy the animation industry and arts creativity. However, the artists who are against AI must show themselves to focus on their unique human-like elements, no matter how real their human arts were. It's true, honestly. Anyways, there was the death of Jim Ward, the death of Kazuki Motoyama, and there was an assassination of Charlie Kirk during the Turning Point USA in Utah, while he was talking about the mass shooting issues and other things. And according to what I found out not more than a month ago, there are 3 things that came out. 1. Netflix acquired Warner Brothers for over $80 billion. 2. Disney invested $1 billion in OpenAI, allowing their own characters on AI-generated videos. And 3rd and last, an infamous Twitter update of the edit image button, which allows users to edit people's artwork by prompting it with AI-generated content without consent, and uses it for AI slop, harassment, and all those. I know it sounds like a 6-minute chapter, as I've been going through the complexity of all things that took place this year, and I apologize if this bores you here. Now that we've wrapped up the main events, covered up everything behind it, let's proceed to the next chapter, and for this one, is going to be the unfolding events of my internet experiences, and in real life. As I reached the year 2025, in January, I was convinced that no drama would erupt around this year, unlike last year, and the whole drama that happened last year would affect the next year. A few weeks later, I planned to make a reference update of my OCs, whereas I planned for an annual welcome artwork featuring me, a depiction that displays a bright color mixing dimension, with lots of efficacies, patience, and other techniques I can improve. Around that time, I made my journey through my first day of college this winter, after finishing my financial aid from my eligibility to continue my future education attendance. I spent long periods of time studying through 2 classes each, especially every weekday, going through the complexity of these subject materials. This allows me to advance my academic career and approach my personal educational growth. This is why I am inactive on the internet whenever I get busy with college stuff. I can still at least spend most of the time hanging out with my friends, making art, playing games, and so on. Then, around February, I plan to reconceptualize my OCs with new details by giving them a distinct shape and implementing new aspects of design in their appearance, and matching their characteristics. Prior to that, I've been rewriting the bio-information of my OCs with clarity and additional details I put in here. Sometimes I added a little lore about the history of my OCs through their personal life. And at the end of the month, I finally finished my OCs along with a new attire, after a long period of time of re-referencing them, and thanks to my new techniques and efforts I put in this creativity. I don't even know what other things I've been experiencing in February, so let's move on to March. Around March 16th, this is the worst situation that I have to endure over a simple thing that I messed up, and I'm not afraid enough to address. I was having breakfast, in the late morning, without anything new I had to work on for my college, and just spending a normal daily life. The situation is that I realized that I had taken the last 2 pieces of bread left, and I might have asked them first before taking them, but I mistakenly forgot it. This is where it puts me into a drain, considering the fact that I've been punished for a whole day, simply because I took the last two without reminding them about it. Then, a few hours later, I was called into the living room. Then I got confronted over a single thing. I tried to explain to them that I kind of forgot to remind them that we're out of bread, but then they dissuaded me and said that I purposely ignored it and quote-unquote used the wrong word, even going as far as to tell me to shut up. The situation is so confusing and frustrating. No parent should overreact and punish a child simply because of a minor mistake of forgetting to remind them that we're out of bread. Of course, I do make mistakes, but the way my parents scolded me over it just made me sensitive to the point where I felt greatly hurt and misinterpreted. But the good news later, the situation has been resolved, as I can now continue doing anything on the internet, while I resume my college career for a while. Now I don't even know anything additional for this month, so let's move on to Q2. Further steps in April, things begin to go downhill, and I was involved at that time. I was blatantly accused of mischaracterizing one of my friend's OCs, by vilifying them into something that I will not go into too much detail about for personal, controversial reasons. The accusation is that I've been spreading misleading information publicly by mentioning minor details of the appearance of what seems to be someone's OCs. And according to the fact, I've been accused of writing a 500-word mischaracterization of people's OCs through my OC's bio information, as well as redacting any mentions of it. This is why I should have kept everything private in my own, especially when it was, of course, headcanon. I did apologize to anyone I upset, redacted any mentions of it from my OC's description, and this issue might have been resolved. To be clear here, I have mixed reactions when I first saw my friend's art pieces back in early 2024. Even though that graphic artwork emotionally struck me, I still moved on from it. This is generally why you, the viewer, should always respect people's boundaries and their artworks, and if you are not feeling welcome to see their artworks by nature, let it be. One more thing I could mention, before we move into May, is that I was also accused of calling out one of the individuals who shouted at me to shut up, even though this was 2 years ago before I took it down. The reason is that I was having a mini mental breakdown over the single issue, and they might forgive me for it. Around May 12th, there was a final exam for one of my writing classes that was due this afternoon, since this was the last day of the semester. But the problem is that the instructor wasn't here, and the classroom is closed. This problem made my frustration go through the roof, and there is practically no other way to get mine done. Even though I practiced and studied a lot throughout this semester, I was still frustrated with writing my final exam because of my writing speed and critical thinking process. I have no idea how college has assigned me a final exam that was due around this afternoon, when I've been struggling to write them with my critical thoughts, especially I was struggling with my previous exams. But luckily, I submitted this exam at night, and I am no longer at risk of failing the course or receiving a 0 for it, and I am also officially in summer break. Now, before we get into June of 2025, this is one of the worst situations where I've been facing a horrific situation that spiraled out of control. And this part shows how far these people who jumped in and started attacking me over my artwork, whether it was general or questionable. Anyways, let's get on with this. On June 15th, I was making a public community post warning to anyone who comes out about questioning my artwork, as well as attacking me in general. Until the next thing you know, the majority of people in what seems to be the targeting groups begin attacking me over it as the situation explodes into chaos, and I felt like the single post I wrote publicly added fuel to the flames. Even when I made this post out of frustration, when I wrote about these people who've been accusing me of drawing anything that is questionable or something like that, it still had to come out like that. Not more than a few hours to a day later, there had been two things that came out. Countless users attempted to prompt an AI slop out of my artwork, and a harassment repost mischaracterizing my OCs, and not only that, but it spiraled completely out of control. This even resulted in my Twitter account getting privatized until further notice. Prior to that, I was trying to do anything to defend myself and my work from harassment and simmer down the smear campaigns, and guess what? Barely did anything. However, there are a minority of fans from Blue Sky, who supported my artwork, gave me a lot of praise and support. This support worked out pretty great, which is the only benefit that I could appreciate for safety. Privatizing my account temporarily can be a safe method to prevent any harassment, as this entire targeting harassment that's been going on. Then, a few weeks later, the situation didn't stop there, as it has been growing with people photoshopping my artwork, which has been flooding below my tweets, and quote posting it at the same time. Making things even worse, I found out that these people are trying to me by investigating through my personal information, prior to not only my Twitter account getting privatized, but also my whole personal account getting privatized, as well as deleting every single photo of me from every single platform and other photographs. It's been getting out of hands ever since these people became relentless in destroying my artistic creativity, even going so far as to try to dig through my personal information before I even managed to secure my privacy. Of course, they've been making themselves a lot worse when they weaponize these to harass not only me, but many artists as well. This is a dire situation, which is why I edited my videos and privatized my old streams to protect my privacy from the public eye, not because of the harassment, but once this personal information is out there, people will eventually utilize it to inflict malicious acts. Just remember, always keep yourself safe. Moving on to Q3. According to ArtFight, an annual contest that started in July, besides two teams, Fossils vs Crystals, I began participating in this contest as Team Crystals, and it's basically where I began attacking people from the opposing team by drawing artworks of their OCs that I chose that belong to them. I also attack my own team by drawing their artworks as well, and these attacks are so-called friendly fire. I've made around 30 attacks in total, and not only that, but I also did a revenge chain on the opposing teams. Ultimately, that is where I have achieved a 35 attack badge prior to the deadline, and I am very thankful to anyone I've attacked, and anyone who attacked me too. Since I've reached my 20th anniversary, turning 20 years old, I've been encouraged to unprivatize my Twitter account due to various benefits, as it's been weeks since the harassment transpired. Then, approximately 19 days around August 10th, after I had turned 20 years old, serious problems began to boil like hell. My Discord server, though quiet and relaxing in this environment, is being raided by a targeting group that I'm not gonna go into complete details regarding for security and safety reasons. I was being painted as a monster, my entire personal information was leaked, and one of my accounts was being compromised. And even worse, when I was about to ban and report these users who dared to spread personal information of innocent people, and other inherently malicious acts, out of nowhere, a YouTube video that mentions me, featuring my leaked personal information, was posted publicly. Not to mention, it displays the personal information of my parents and a blurred picture of my house to the point where I felt like my family and I are in immediate danger, until this was taken care of. Subsequently, I finally found out who is responsible for these incidents. It would be a culprit or something other than their teams. It is after I've been researching through documents and going through evidence analysis to discover who played a massive role on and raiding innocent users without context, rather than a sock puppet or so. To be honest, this isn't the first time that I experienced this horrendous incident I've ever seen, especially when people have been pushing false narratives and harassing me simply because of my artwork. This is beyond stupid. There is no justification for their attack against me and my artwork, and the reasons for that speak for themselves. Then, on August 30th, things continued to spiral once again when the individual, who made a harassment repost a few months ago, though I'm not gonna mention the name, has been pushing a false narrative and accusing me of quote-unquote running an alt account, and attacking people who had been harassing me earlier. Not only that, I was being pointed a finger for quote-unquote giving them false DMCA claims, as well as abusing the DMCA file features. Now, to debunk this situation I debunked earlier, this alt account did not come from me, nor the messages. And accordingly, they have good reasons why they received a DMCA claim, art stealing, and copying and pasting my artwork at the same time, which qualifies as intellectual property infringement and a valid reason for DMCA claims. And because of this, again, this is where I privatized my Twitter account for long periods of time, until a month later, everything was resolved. Now I don't even know what sparked in September, so let's move on to Q4. Around October, I've noticed that one of my very first Scratch projects, made back on October 20th, 2017, and released on November 3rd, 2017, got falsely taken down for quote-unquote sharing personal information, even though there are no indications of information that's been spotted inside my project, nor the notes and credits description. I have no clue why Scratch just had to strictly take this down when my first project looked innocent, and not to violate privacy policies, nor the community guidelines. What did I even do, regardless of that? Luckily, I've managed to reshare it, and my project is no longer at risk of what may seem to be a false takedown notice. Around that time, I've been planning to do another Doodletober this month of October, along with my new techniques and other characters that I can draw, which is what is supposed to be a monthly challenge. I doodled a few artworks, which included Bill Green, Papa Titan, Totoro, No, Invincible, etc. However, due to the long-term studying and writing for one of my college classes for this second semester, my Doodletober was delayed for extended periods of time. I won't go into too much detail about my personal stuff, so I will just have to leave it as it is. In November, I was assigned the most significant project of my academic career, which is basically a research paper, after months of studying on weekdays and so. It's been about weeks that I've been working on this with a lot of steps, along with the formulas I've learned so far related to structuring effectively. Then, approximately 3 weeks after putting a lot of effort into coherence and sustainability, I finally finished the writing, thanks not only to the academic, but also to my resilience and adaptability as well. But that's only a good thing when it reinforces my writing skills and teaches me the value of adaptability. Then, around December, I've made it to the end of my college's second semester, after finishing the very final exams. I was very grateful for all the hard work and creativity I've invested in every subject I pursued. And ever since today was my holiday break, I can finally start to get back into good terms with my friends, and other artists I adored, and I can spend my time together with my online friends, and sometimes spend my time doing personal stuff. I also got some various Sparta remixers getting back into good terms with me, ever since things went off a few years ago, and I'm glad that they apologized to me for the harassment ever since they moved on. And at the end of this month, I'll see if I can continue posting a few of my doodles that I've finished with this entirety, especially to get everything set up before the next year. I would also see if I can continue posting more videos on YouTube, ever since I haven't uploaded them for a year since my last year recap. I'm somehow looking forward to the third semester of college, and despite the challenges and obstacles that I've endured, especially from my recent semesters, I'll see if I can improve my maintenance and strategies by all means. So in conclusion, 2025 has gone from being the best year from the start, to a far more abysmal year I've ever experienced, more than 2024. And believed it or not, every single mention throughout this half of the year to the end, had left me heavily antagonized, along with other things that I've been frustrated with. I was trying to do anything to defend myself and my artwork from this oppressive coercion, principally the tumultuous levels of harassment over the situations connected to the artworks that I drew. Not only that, but this isn't the first time that I've been the victim of being ever since, again, my artwork. Sure, it's just stupid why these people have to attack me over it, rather than moving on, but this whole situation wouldn't stop me from moving forward. As I said earlier, I've been strongly believing that 2025 could be better than 2024, because if we want to be better, we have to act better. But apparently, all of these incidents had to slip, and if it's less problematic. And at the end of the day, the majority of these incidents, the tense harassment, and the false narrative have demoralized me mentally and physically, and I can't even think straight because of it. I even wish that 2026 could be better, ever since things happened this year that would affect the next year. But before I end this video, let me bring up my thoughts about Roblox after this whole schlepped situation and the lack of child safety measures. As I said earlier, I've been playing this platform for many years since I was young, and it's where I picked the name since 2017, the day when I first joined the internet. And after everything that surfaced this year, my passion slowly faded, and this is where my name will be on the verge of a change, which is where I'm going to be known as Romanix, as a new moniker. Let me make this clear, if Roblox manages to take further actions on saving children from entrapment or any predatory acts, then my name should have stayed the same. But if they don't, it's going to be my choice to leave this platform for good. Well, that's the wrap for this recap. If you made it to the end, and understand the conflicts, drama, and harassment that I've been going through throughout 2025, then please make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment your thoughts on this whole situation. And to prevent missing out, please hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button, so you won't miss out on every single video I put on this channel. Thank you for watching, and see if you can have a better 2026.